Guys, what is going on? And as you can see here, I am all dressed up in my college cap and gown. Well, just my cap, but just my gown. But okay, so change of plans for tonight for my entrance. So I plan on doing Bobby Roode's entrance tonight. Going glorious, because I have had nothing but a glorious day today. It's been a glorious past couple days for me. You know, always think here. Friday, I had family and friends over. It was a blast. Saturday was my birthday. It was freaking awesome. Yesterday, I had a phone interview, and I was like, I felt a little mad about how I did with it. But then today, here's how my day went. Got some more work done. I went to Olive Garden for my birthday dinner with my parents. I got to have spaghetti and meatballs. I got to even have a slice of black mousse chocolate cake, despite the fact that the waitress made fun of me because my mom got the never-ending pasta bowl, and she ate more pasta than me, but I just need to save room for that big piece of cake. But also, even better, I had a big, glorious of a day because that phone interview I had yesterday got back to me, and I now have an on-site interview with the news station that I got the interview for. So I'm in a glorious day because I'm in a glorious mood because I'm finally getting somewhere in my career. And I'm feeling absolutely glorious. Now, of course, I wanted to do Bobby Roode's entrance. However, though, I was not going to be originally wearing my college gown. I originally was going to be wearing this one hoodie that I wore in high school from the bowling team. However, the string on the hoodie for some reason was like pulled so far in. I thought this was a good 10-15 minutes trying to get the string back on the other side of the hole. That way, the strings are even out. But then, as I was putting it on, I looked in my closet. I forgot I had both my college and high school cap and gown in there. But then I thought, you know what? The one from college probably fits more because I'm a lot more fatter than I was in college. No, I'm not fat, but I just put on a lot more weight in college. So I was a freaking twig in high school. So that's why, I put on my dark blue gown, of course. But of course, it did its business tonight because I had to, be absolutely glorious. But of course, I had no other. I don't own a bathrobe. I don't wear a robe when I take a bath or go to take a shower or anything. So I had to go with my next best guess and do my college gown. But yes, I am having a great mood. I'm feeling absolutely glorious today because I'm finally getting started my career. And of course, I had Olive Garden and had some breadsticks as well. If you do not like Olive Garden, shame on you. Just kidding. Anyway, so enough of the fun stuff. Where did I put the hanger at? Oh, it's right here. Just to get this hung back up. But guys, yes, indeed, what is going on as I'm putting away my old gown from when I graduated college 2.5 years ago? What is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am in post-production mode from my special entrance because I don't want to get my gown all wrinkly and whatnot. I probably will never wear this again, but I never keep saying. But this will be my live review of Smackdown Live, the September 25th, 2018 edition that, like last week's episode of Raw, took place in Colorado, New York. What the heck am I saying there? I was thinking of WrestleMania next year. Denver, Colorado. And of course, we're going to go back, as always, look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. But unlike last night's episode of Raw, I'm not going to be ranting that much on this show really at all. Tonight's episode of Smackdown Live was good. I didn't think it was as strong as last week's, because the first hour, the stuff was good we got, but it was what it meant. It was what it was. It was nothing, big and must see, but it was still acceptable. Like, it felt like it meant a purpose. Of course, there's one low point in the show. We'll talk about that a little bit, but some very interesting stuff here. WWE going a little bit above and beyond with a few things. Some things are interesting. Some things could end up being good. Some things could not really mean anything in the long run. But overall, I was pretty excited and pleased with the results we got from this week's episode of SmackDown Live, as I have been since the Superstar Shakeup. But of course, also before we get started, I did want to have one brief moment of silence here, as of course everybody knows me well. I'm a huge baseball fan, and today I am wearing my R.I.P. Jose shirt, as it's now been 2 years ago since Miami Marlins starting pitcher Jose Fernandez passed away. Well, he passed away, but he was killed in a boating accident in Miami Beach. So, of course, as I mentioned, he's one of my favorite upcoming pitchers in the major leagues as a baseball fan. So, if we can do me a favor, just have a brief moment of silence to remember Jose Fernandez. Thank you. Rest in peace, Jose. But anyways, let's talk wrestling. Now, let's get on track now. I went off track talking about me, talking about Jose, but I'm just in a good mood today, guys, even though Jose's memory is not so glorious. But again, we had a good show tonight. I had a good day. Let's get started. First, let's check the live chat, see who we got here. And as always, my new theory is I'll go hour by hour before I check the live chat again. So that way we can, keep things going. Let's see here. Larry says, seriously? Haha. Yeah, I know. I'm corny. But Lauren says, Mike, nice intro. Wasn't as good as last week, but still a great show. SmackDown was. She gave it a B-, which that's cool with me. Everybody's saying hello. Lauren does not like Carmella's new hair. Blonde fits her better in her opinion. I do agree. Again, the brown, like the maroon, whatever that color looks, it's not her. I do feel the blonde hair fits her, even though, of course, she would still be under the category of, oh, Vince only likes her because she's blonde and whatnot. Yeah, I do agree that the blonde definitely fits better. She's glad I had a good day. Thank you. Larry says, I find her pretty hot with brown hair, but it doesn't matter. Mella is not a babyface. I do agree. Yes, as I keep saying, there was nothing there. I mean, other than the fact that R-Truth being funny as hell with this whole thing with Carmella, there was just nothing there to make me want to go, oh, like that Carmella, she's not much of anything. All of a sudden, to be like, Carmella, what's up? I mean, yeah, she's pretty high. I won't deny it, but as a talent, again, I'm not really digging this. Again, I feel this babyface run should only last as long as the mixed match challenge. After mixed match challenge, pour it back to being a heel, because I feel that's where she should be. Larry's saying, cool, awesome, and congrats. Becky, Orton, Nakamura, and Joe are definitely the best heels and things going on SmackDown Live now. I agree. Mel is a face now. I think it wastes time for her to turn, but it could have been done better. I do agree. And yes, Truth TV was hilarious. I enjoyed it. It was a babyface turn that never happened, so I'm not taking it seriously. No worries there, Larry. Love Olive Garden. Your dinner and dessert sound yummy. Oh, yes. My usual meal is the never-ending pasta bowl with spaghetti, meatballs, or shrimp. That's my usual meal. But Olive Garden, my favorite restaurant, especially those breadsticks. They're absolutely glorious. Anyways, I'm getting a little too kick on the glorious. Asuka and Naomi are still being wasted. Oh, we'll talk about that, especially that one segment. And do you think on Aiden's video footage was of him and Lana kissing? We don't know. We will find out about that next week. And that's right. We had the Milwaukee chance going tonight, guys, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But oh boy, that sure came out of nowhere. That has me really interested. And that ending segment as well. Lana finally lost her accent. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that as well later on. And also, rest in peace to University of Jose Fernandez, who's only 24. Again, I still remember that morning. I woke up. I was just shocked. I was in deep shock. Yeah, I just just one of the things you couldn't prepare for. But again, always has my support as always. Again, who's definitely my favorite upcoming pitchers. But yeah, I definitely agree. Thank you for the support, Jose. I mean, almost called Jose. Lauren, I didn't know they had like a tissue blown on the face for an emoji. What was Joe staying outside AJ's house? Well, he went as far as pushing AJ over the line and saying going into his house. Yep, he went there tonight, guys, but I will talk about that later on. I actually like that. Orton attacked Ty because he's pissed off at his gimmick. Oh, well, he agrees. I mean, again, it was over in NXT. Fortunately, Vince doesn't like it on the main roster, which I'll talk about later. I can somewhat see why he hates his gimmick, but then again, it's not completely his fault. He's still somebody else that I feel deserves a lot better, which is Ty, but we'll talk about that later, about how I actually am kind of interested in this feud. She doesn't believe that is Orton's next victim. I mean, he says it isn't, but there's probably going to be something going on between them, I'd say. Do you see Orton and Nakamura teaming up against Ty and Jeff at Super Showdown? I would only say no, only because we have how many tag team matches already on the card. Like, why? I mean, yes, don't get me wrong. Look at the card now. There are some matches on the show that I think would be worth checking out. I'll be honest, I've been the stubborn freak about, Super Showdown is going to be a waste of time, a glorified house show. There's some matches I think would be worth checking out. I'm not going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, though, to watch the show, but I might check it out later. But we have way too many tag team matches on the show, like pointless tag matches that mean absolutely nothing. So, I mean, maybe say that for an episode of SmackDown, maybe, but I don't know, maybe probably not at Super Showdown. And Becky attacking Charlotte is always great. I have a lot of praising for that segment, I will say later on. Becky and Lauren did get the biggest pops of the night. I do agree, Lauren, for sure. But without further ado, thank you to Lauren and Larry for your awesome comments in the live chat, as always. And let's get started with this glorious review of SmackDown Live. As I keep saying, I'm in a glorious mood today. Anyways, let's move on here now to the review. The show, that's just an alert from Twitter. The show opened up, it looks like it's going to be Miz TV, except R-Truth and Carmella come out to the ring, and Truth gets on the mic and pretty much does the Miz's entrance to welcome to the must-see talk show in sports and sports entertainment. He says, welcome to, instead of saying Miz TV, he says Truth TV. And I'm like, okay, again, if it was a few months ago, I'd be like, this is stupid. This is completely waste of time. But now, again, with R-Truth actually being quite entertaining, in my opinion, I keep putting him over. And honestly, I kind of want him and Carmella to win the mixed match challenge. Don't think that will happen, especially tonight. Apparently, they were facing who were they facing tonight? I can't remember. They're facing Miz and Asuka. Now, of course, that means Asuka, is not how she was the last mixed match challenge. But anyways, we're not here to talk about the mixed match challenge, which it's good cause was doing it for, but not really that interested in it this time around. Gave it a shot last time, was okay, but not going on my way to watch it again. But anyways, getting back on track here. So they come out and he gets a what's up from the crowd, introduces Carmella as the Andy Richards to his Conan the Barbarian, and then he introduces Daniel Bryan as he wanted him to be his first guest because he's got a lot of questions, and Dan asks for his best question. Truth puts his glasses on, and he starts asking a question. Bryan gives him permission apparently to call him D. Truth mentions how last week Bryan foiled Miz and the other Carmella, as he calls Maurice, and he wants to know how cathartic a win in Australia would be. As of course, Daniel Bryan will be facing the Miz at Super Showdown for a number one contendership for the WWE Championship. Bryan puts a question and the show over, saying it's already way better than Miz TV. But before we can answer, of course, Carmella interrupts, says, it's time. We're like, time for what? And then she's like, for the Truth TV 7-second dance break. And they get up and they start breakdancing pretty much. Well, not breakdancing, they start dancing. And for the most part, what's it called? Daniel Bryan was like, all right. And I'm like, okay, this is actually not too bad. Like, I felt, again, it was entertaining. It was fun. And I was enjoying it. So they did the dance break, and then Truth says he's got an animal segment coming up, but first he wants to hear more about Super Showdown. Bryan asks if Truth knows what catharsis means, and Truth says of course he does, but he wants Bryan to explain so everybody else understands. Bryan defines it as just coming back wasn't enough. He wants to be WWE champion. Before, he only defended the title one time, so he's got unfinished business with the title. And, of course, also the IC title, didn't mention that as well. But more so, he wants to get back on top in the main event scene. But he also has unfinished business with The Miz because of his cheating at SummerSlam. So if he wins Australia, it will be cathartic. And he wants to be the WWE champion to prove that he's the best. And he knows Miz will do anything to be WWE champion just so he can say he's the best. And that's the difference between the two. Out comes The Miz. He asks Truth, "What do you think you're doing?" Truth says 2 weeks ago he beat him on SmackDown in the main event, keep in mind. So if he had a championship, it'd be his. Instead, he's on his talk show. Miz calls him an idiot, and Truth agrees, saying he's an idiot with a talk show. Miz does the thing when Miz can't stop his mouth goes shut and says that they have their differences, but he knows why people love him is because he's Daniel Bryan, the underdog who never stops fighting and always fights fair, and that's why people love him. But it's also why he'll never beat The Miz. He may not be the scrappiest, but he's smart, he's not a coward, and he wins at all costs in whatever he has to do. And that's why he won at SummerSlam and at Hell in a Cell, and that's why he's going to win a Super Showdown. He's out here celebrating having foiled one of his 300 ideas, but he's got thousands more to come, and he'll do anything to move on to the WWE Champion, which either way, whether Miz or Bryan wins, again, they are most deserving of, getting that number one contendership shot. I mean, I definitely, Daniel Bryan, of course, again, my favorite all time, but I definitely agree that, if the Miz gets there, I have no problem with this whatsoever, because again, it could, take this feud even on longer between Bryan and Miz and elevate it to be in a match at WrestleMania, as I feel it should be. Plus, also, the Miz definitely deserves to be getting back in that main event scene. No doubt about it. With the mic work and his improvement in the ring, he definitely deserves to be in the main event scene. But he claims that Daniel is too proud to do what it takes to win. When he constantly lets the people that care for him down. The only way he can win is by compromising his own moral code, but that's impossible because if he cheats, he doesn't just steal hope from the people. He tarnishes his name forever. And Truth says all the extra talking has killed the animal segment, and he's going to ban The Miz from Truth TV for life. And Miz freaks out on him, saying this isn't even his show. And then Truth's like, all right, if you want your show back, you're going to have to fight for it now. And then we get another dance break, but then Miz just walks away saying, I don't want anything to do with this. But, of course, he gets backstage, and Paige like, yeah, you're right. If you want, your show back, you go back out and earn it. So go. And then Miz is like, fine, whatever. He goes out there. They have the match. It was all right. Nothing really too spectacular in the match. I mean, Daniel Bryan was on commentary. But, of course, we discussed the fact that, Miz needs to cheat to win, which, again, we've seen that from how many other superstars, but again, with how the Miz plays it off, though, is effective, and it doesn't feel like boring, because the Miz is awesome with how he does it. Of course, he does pull off a move. I think he pokes the referee or someone in the eye for in the Skull Crusher finale on Truth, and he just eyes down Daniel Bryan's like, see, I'm very manipulative, like I claim I am. I'm going to do the same thing to you at Super Showdown. You cannot overcome that, pretty much. So Miz wins, and he gets Miz TV back. Fortunately, it's probably the only time we're going to see Truth TV, but what happened? It was fun, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. Match between Truth and Miz wasn't bad. I felt their match in the main event of SmackDown like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whenever the heck it was. I thought that was a little bit better of a match. This match was still, acceptable, I thought. So we get that winning. Then we get this. I love we got this. It was simple, to the point, and exactly what proves that WWE, well, police people on SmackDown have the balls to do. And that's called making things feel natural. We see Charlotte in a photo shoot backstage, and then Becky blindsides her and attacks her, throws her into the road cases, and demands photographer to keep taking pictures. She just beats down Charlotte, and she starts yelling at her about how people want to see the champ's face. She's saying people want to see her. She didn't flat out, she didn't say, not you. She said, people want to see me. People want to see the champ. She's holding the title over high, telling her to take her photo. She flat out said, a heel said, people want to see me. And you know what? Again, as I keep saying, have Becky. I know that they're trying to make Becky a heel so bad, and they're trying to make us hate her, but it's not going to work. But again, if you're sticking to this anti-hero thing more so with just not bashing the crowd, but just letting things happen natural, like Becky says, people literally said people want to see the champ. People want to see me. That's exactly simple and to the point she said to Charlotte. And I am literally like, it exists. It exists. WWE does have a set of cojones on SmackDown, at least. They have a set. They have the guts to actually let a heel say something like that. Why couldn't Seth Rollins say that when he was feuding with Roman Reigns in 2016? Why couldn't he just flat out admit to say to Roman, hey, they like me more than you? Like Becky pretty much, yeah, she didn't say, they like me more than you, Charlotte, but she flat out said the people want to see the champ. And isn't that exactly what, someone like Becky Lynch should be saying? People want to see her. Yes, she has a new attitude. Yes, she's doing whatever she has to do to stay up on top. But are we supposed to hate her for this situation? We don't want to hate her for this. But again, if you want to make her a more anti-hero, then fine. This is completely fine. This is bearable. But when you have segments when you're shoving it down the throats like her or Braun Strowman or somebody else, or like Rusev months ago, you were trying to get us to hate them, then of course that's when I have a problem. When you're forcing it on us to hate them, then that drives me bananas. But when you have a segment like this where it was simple and to the point and Becky spoke the truth. Oh, it is true. It's damn true, guys, that we want to see her. I'm like, that's it. That's exactly what we needed, what she needs to say. Because she knows it's true. That crap she said the first SmackDown after SummerSlam that we were never really behind her, that was complete bull. That was all bull. So if Becky just sticks to those guidelines, just being, a badass who is just, doing whatever she has to do to stay on top, not being a coward, being her. Being her, letting things happen natural. Again, her being more of an anti-hero is completely fine with me. I'm completely cool with this. Completely. You got that, WWE? Now do not fuck this up. Do not. Do not. Because eventually, as I mentioned before, a more heelish gimmick, when it gets over as good as it's getting over now, has to eventually transition back into a babyface role. Obviously, again, this new add to the Becky Lynch is going to eventually give further into, being strong enough to be into a babyface role as it pretty much already is now. Becky Lynch could easily be a babyface. Becky Lynch still in the eyes of us is still a babyface, even though she's supposed to be the heel because she has the chip on her shoulder and whatnot, as it means so. But again, she's an anti-hero, and I am cool with that. I am completely cool with it. Cool, as I keep saying. I'm not going to carry with the cool stuff here. But that was that segment. Again, I love that. We didn't have the Bar coming out, getting ready for a match with Sheamus and Big E. New Day coming out and cut a promo. Xavier Woods says that they've always got jokes, but honestly, they play too much. Kofi agrees, but the fact of the matter is, the end of the day, they do respect the Bar. In fact, in that very ring last week, Cesaro beat him, Kofi, fair and square, and it'd be silly for them to come out here and not take him seriously, especially heading into Super Showdown. Big E says since they have a hell of respect for the Bar, they're going to play a game called the Say Something Nice Challenge, starting with Cesaro. Woods says regardless of them poking fun at his awkwardly shaped Arolas, and the fact that he looks like Swiss Jason Statham, they enjoy his movies. And despite Sheamus' goofy mohawk, they decided the carpet must match the drapes. Sheamus takes a mic from them and runs them down about coming out here with the same stale jokes, but they're not fooled. They want to joke around, but all the Bar want to do is fight. And Cesaro says the mockery ends in Australia when they take the tag titles, and because they just don't set the bar, they are the Bar. So we get, Big E versus Sheamus. Just imagine a typical match between someone from each team fighting. It's not as good as last week's match with Kofi and Cesaro, but still, a decently physical match, I thought, for the most part. of course, I mean, the story doesn't have like really too much other than that. The Bar's getting a tag title shot. There's two good teams going at. And you know what? Again, I've said before how like I don't like how they have so many titles. I feel like that's all they focus on, just the titles. But like one or two feuds, I feel like just focusing on just the titles, like this one, I'm cool with it because I know these two teams have good chemistry. They can put on great matches. Again, they put on a really good match. Probably one of the only good things I remember from when I went to Roadblock and the Line in 2016, a terrible pay-per-view, but they put on a good match. Sheamus and Cesaro have great chemistry together. And, again, the New Day, at times can be a little flat, can still put on good matches, I feel. Yeah, no, the wrestling ability doesn't shine, but, the character, they're more of a character gimmick. And they're still able to put on fun matches, I think. So, I mean, this match with Big E and Sheamus wasn't bad. Sheamus, of course, wins the bro kick, but, of course, I'm starting to wonder if New Day will retain, even though I kind of want to see the Bar win the tag titles. I feel that they're ready to take the titles. Again, New Day's run, has been, for about a month or two, but, satisfied with it. I didn't want to see them, just win the titles and just drop them again at their next title defense. So I'm cool with it, with them winning it. So Sheamus, though, wins the match. Match wasn't bad. We then have Paige backstage talking to AJ Styles, urging him not to destroy everything since the monitors are very expensive. AJ says he won't be out there to sign. He's going to be out there to sign on the dotted line for the contract. That's it. And if he has to destroy anything, it's going to be Samoa Joe. We'll check the live chat here really quick and see what we got here. Let's see here. We got... Let's see here. I think we were right here. Super Showdown starts at 5 a.m. I'll check it out later. That's too early. I agree again. If there's any matches I do check out, I will have to wait till later. But Daniel, as a guest on True TV, made no sense whatsoever. And Miz's face was awesome when he came out. I mean, it kind of made sense to me, the fact that, he's being interviewed for, obviously, his Truth was, mocking the Miz. His segment pretty much, involved the Miz. So, of course, I see why they interviewed Daniel Bryan. Just my opinion. But, of course, Miz's reaction was just absolutely priceless when he came out. I agree. She thinks that next we're going to get Truth versus Bryan versus Miz. Wouldn't be too bad. She thinks that Styles and Charlotte are winning the mixed match challenge, but she wants to see Mickey and Lashley win it. Fair game there, although it doesn't make sense tonight that Mickey James is taking on one of her friends, Alicia Fox. I think it's Mickey and Bobby taking on the modern day Mahalisha, or they're calling it. Give me a break. You really had to put two of my least favorite talents together in a mixed tag match. Really? That's Jinder and Alicia, of course. You guys know I'm not big fans of them at all. But yeah. Let's see here. She likes Truth, but he needs a good push. And you know what? I think he deserves it. With how entertaining he is, I wouldn't mind seeing a feud between Truth and Nakamura for the U.S. title. To give Nakamura something to do, because he's absolute directionless right now as U.S. champion. Just another guy who is in the main event scene. Then he got just put down to the U.S. title scene as a consolation prize. Now he's doing nothing with it. But that dance, though, was lit. I definitely agree. It was awesome. I wouldn't mind seeing Styles and Bryan over the title. Or they do, if Joe wins it, Bryan and Joe. Either way, it could be good. I mean, I would love to see Joe win the title because I do think he deserves it. But I'm still starting to think they're going to put it back on AJ. And it's going to be Miz taking the title off of AJ. And heck, that match could happen at SmackDown Live 1000 in a couple weeks. Whoever wins at Super Showdown faces the champion at SmackDown Live 1000. Maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Don't do that crown jewel. I have no interest in that show at all whatsoever. She thinks Carmella teaming with Truth was better than her teaming with Enzo and Cash, she thinks. Interesting. I mean, they were definitely good in NXT, but I like the role she's in. Well, I do find this role entertaining, and the fact that her face turn again was just random as heck. But Miz contract expires in 2020 or 2022. And I'm not sure if that's true or not, but but wow. Has Bryan resigned? Yes, he did resign. Nakamura's expires next year, as does Stephanie McMahon, and Big Show's expire in 2020. Interesting. So I guess we'll have Nakamura for a while longer. again, as I thought, said in my video, maybe he's going to go back to New Japan, but we at least have him until 2020, it seems. Ages expires in 2019 and 2020. Bryan versus Miz should have been put on hold until Mania. I mean, they could probably still do something at Mania, but of course, this is just, you know, building. I mean, I think them to build up the stakes for a nice, you know, long-term story, because, you know, they had to do something with them, with, you know, Bryan returning and, you know, the build for this for how long. That's why I feel like this needs to be like a longer feud, pretty much. Of course, I thought that Randy Orton was going to be Daniel Bryan's next. I mean, Daniel Bryan was going to be Randy Orton's next victim, which, you know, he still could be. But I am somewhat interested what they had him doing with, you know, who he attacked tonight, which I'll talk about that shortly. I thought maybe, you know, Bryan would lose to Miz, and then he had to deal with Randy Orton, and he eventually, because Randy Orton would get the upper hand on him, and eventually Bryan would, you know, get the upper hand on Orton and make his way back to the main event and defeat Miz for the title at WrestleMania 35. Like, that's what, you know, I still think should happen, could have happened in some way. We may get AJ versus Bryan Mania. I'd be completely cool with that if it was Bryan and AJ as well. Paige didn't do too good as GM tonight, she did not think. And she didn't really do too much, but, you know, she can't really do a lot on the show. But I understand how you feel. That segments were better than the matches tonight, she felt. I agree. Yeah, the matches were okay. Nothing really astronomical, but the segments were definitely really good tonight. Watch SmackDown Live be an A next week. Would not surprise me. I, you know, have the hopes for it. I mean, tonight's show, yeah, wasn't bad either, I say, but it still wasn't as musty as last week's. Becky is still all in black leather now. She looks badass. Oh, I definitely agree. Becky is badass, and she's not too bad looking either. I'll give her that. Becky spoke facts. She did. I think Becky's enjoying herself more as a badass, which, you know, what she could be. She's literally the female Stone Cold Steve Austin, as I keep saying. That's what she literally is. He as a badass heel. No way Road Dogg. Yeah, there's no way Road Dogg is writing SmackDown. I cannot link Road Dogg's name to any of this good stuff happening on SmackDown Live. No way at all whatsoever. Unless he's writing for one person. I'm going to rant a little bit about here shortly. Champs are better on SmackDown than Raw. Definitely. Heels who are loved include Orton, Joe, and Becky. They are. Fans who are hated are Roman, Charlotte, and Cena sometimes. I mean, I don't think, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I do think Charlotte is talented, as I keep saying, but I do see the heat on Charlotte is definitely starting to build, but I don't think it's as bad as it was with Roman. Like, with Roman, it's ridiculous. Cena, it's cool off because, you know, he's not around all the time. But at least Cena also can be entertaining also as well. I can't deny that Cena definitely has cut some of the best promos I've seen since watching. My favorite is still, were you firing blanks down there, sport? When he ball tapped Miz. That was still funny. Top 10 reasons why SmackDown is a better product than Raw. I do have that idea down. Maybe I will do that one this week. I'm not sure which one I did. I remember there was a couple good ones suggested to me, Lauren. I know, I mean, don't get me wrong, the ones you gave me are good, but there's a couple ones I'm like, ooh, I got to do this one. Because I think for October, I'll be doing most of those women's topics that you suggest, since, you know, we're going to be leading up to Evolution in October. We got Zero Herrera 2022. What's up? He says, you like Cassius Ohno? I like Cassius Ohno. Top 10 ways heels are more popular and loved more than baby faces. That's an interesting one. Let's see what I can do with that. See what I can do with that one. Top 10 reasons why heels are more liked than baby faces. So that what you pretty much said? Are more popular and love, whatever. Same thing. Didn't care for Biggie versus Sheamus. Sheamus needs a good run again. He could. Time for the Bar to dethrone New Day. The Bar are more of tweeners than heels. Pretty much. I mean, they're not being like, you know, shoved down as like, you know, oh, these big bad guys, but, you know, they're being built as like, you know, respectable veterans who are actually, you know, able to put on good matches, I feel. So I don't think I do think the Bar, I can definitely agree with the Bar being more so tweeners. She missed the Usos in the club. Where have they been? Not really been used. I mean, they could still have them on the show in some way. But I definitely agree. The Usos killed it last year. And Sanity, they deserve better. Just get Nikki Cross to SmackDown already. I guess so. What else does Nikki have to do on NXT right now? Well, she's kind of involved in a non-pay-per-view with Bianca Belair right now, which I think they're going to set them for a pretty big match later on down the line. I think to get Bianca her NXT Women's Championship shot at TakeOver War Games 2. But yeah, Sanity, like, all they've done really is lose so far up on the main roster. That's the only other thing I want to knock SmackDown about it. I mean, it's been good, but they have not been booking Sanity too well. She loves Styles, but Joe needs that title. I agree. If any time it's put the title on Joe, it's now. I do agree. But thank you, Lauren and Zero, and I don't know where Larry went, but for the stuff in the live chat. Let's continue rolling. They see me mowing my front lawn. Okay, I'm not going to start saying white nerdy now, but I'm just in that mood. Anyways, so, this got really interesting. I did not expect too much out of this, but boy, was I shocked. We see Lana walking backstage, which I got to rant her for a little bit here. Can WWE just make up their mind? Do they want Lana to have her Russian accent, or do they not want her to have her accent? Because one week she's talking like this, Rusev, and then she's talking like this, Rusev. Like, you know, well, that's not a girly voice at all, but, you know, like, one week she has an accent, next week she doesn't. And I do remember at the Hall of Fame red carpet, because I watched that during WrestleMania weekend this year, like, when she was talking, like, it looked like she was like the band, okay, should I be talking in my own accent or in my Russian accent? Just WWE. Love Lana, we love Rusev, but make up your mind of what you want her to be. American or Russian? Decide, please. Anyway, so Lana rolls up and to Rusev's locker room, and Rusev comes out saying he just wants to know why Aiden attacked him last week. They head out to the ring. Rusev soaks to the chants, and of course, first off, and of course, you know, this was probably the first time since Aiden actually turned on Rusev last week that it's like it felt like finally the chains have been let off. Rusev's a full-on babyface now, and the character Rusev himself was embracing it. I felt as well tonight with the chants and everything. He was a full babyface in it, and I'm like, finally, this feels great. This feels glorious. Anyways, so Rusev comes out and he says last week Aiden attacked him, and he did it on the greatest day of them all, Rusev Day, making him a traitor. But before he crushes English's skinny little soul, he wants an explanation. Aiden comes out, stays on the stage, and he knows Rusev is angry and has every right to be, but none of this is his fault. Before he met Rusev, he was a super athlete, supremely talented, but none of these people cared about him, which we kind of did. Or, of course, you know, he had the heat against him, but he was definitely, you know, in a downward spiral. And this Rusev Day gimmick kind of, you know, did make him a little more popular again. But WWE was resisting on pulling the trigger on him. He did lack direction, as Aiden said, which is kind of true. Aiden though saw potential in him, even though I'm like, what potential do you have, really, Aiden? He said he had a video package to prove that he claimed that he made him a beloved star in the WWE. You know, went back to when Rusev Day first began. Rusev was getting booed at first, but then they in this video package, but then they said how he showed how he came a long way, and they got 70,000 people chanting for them all night at WrestleMania. And then he says, but we had all that happen, but then what happened? Lana happened. He's blaming all this on Lana, saying he's got a video to back this up as well. And he shows that. He says they were better when it was just the two of them and not the trio. And Lana says before him, she helped Rusev be an unstoppable force who rode a tank and crushed people. And she gives it up to him. He does a great job as a glorified cheerleader, but he's just trying to use Rusev to make a name for himself, which, you know, is kind of true. Is no doubt about Rusev's a bigger star than Aiden English. Again, I just don't see Aiden as much of anything as a single star. English says fair enough, without question, her dedication to her husband, standing by him and supporting him and being honest to him. But then, of course, this is where things get very juicy. He has to wonder, though, he claims, with all her dedication, is she going to tell him about that one night in Milwaukee. Drops the mic and just walks out. And it's just like wait a minute here. What night in Milwaukee here? You know, like I'm trying to think when even was the last time those two or those three at least could have been in Milwaukee. What's this gonna be? Is this gonna be Lana cheating on Rusev? Is did Aiden English kind of seduce Lana in some way? Is this? I mean, I'm sure it's not gonna be too explicit. I feel since of course it's the PG era, but I'm like, whoa there. Okay, now we're getting a little bit juicy here, apparently here. Something happened in Milwaukee, and of course, that leads to the crowd in Denver, which hats off to Denver both nights in Raw for Raw and SmackDown. They were hot all night, both nights. And they had the Milwaukee chants going, and I'm just like, oh boy, this is juicy. Like, that's one thing, of course, that, really wants me to see next week's episode of SmackDown Live. And I'm just like, oh boy, what happened here? Lana, what did you do? Or is this Aiden English making something completely up? We'll have to wait and see, though, next week as we try to find out what really happened in Milwaukee. Okay. But this, we see this backstage segment with Naomi and Asuka. Asuka is apparently practicing her punches, throwing punches at punching pads, getting ready for an upcoming match they're going to have. You see this wall over here, guys? You see this wall? And also, you see these trophies right here. That was from my dedication and hard work in the martial arts for 10 years. Shotokan, to be exact, the exact style of karate I did. And I feel pretty qualified to do this explanation here. This short little demonstration. So, I was taught when you throw a punch, closed fists, and those are effective looking punches. That's how you punch, right? But here is what I swore I saw Asuka doing. She was playing patty cake with the punching bags. I may be oblivious. I mean, yes, I'm 25 years old now. I may be getting old and going crazy, getting an achy back. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding there. But, what's up with these on punching bags? That's not how you freaking punch. I mean, if you're pressing like a leopard grab or something like that, yeah, we learned these in karate and whatnot, or there's other fancy looking hand strikes and whatnot. But into a punching bag, you're pressing punches and you're just flapping your hands out there like it looks sloppy as hell. Another thing that I'm not liking about SmackDown, SmackDown's been awesome, but a couple of nitpicks. Of course, first I said before, Sanity. Shinsuke Nakamura's U.S. title run so far. And now Asuka. Are they making a mockery out of her next like they did with Shinsuke last year? Like, what happened here? Yes, Asuka obviously had to lose at some point. I get it. But you didn't have to make her down to a laughingstock as being a stupid idiot who apparently doesn't know how to throw a punch properly. Again, 10 years of the martial arts, and I know how to properly throw a punch. Of course, fun fact here. When you throw a punch, how many knuckles are you supposed to not hit with? Let's see if you guys know this. Of course, I'm not going to check the live tag until the end of this review, but you're really supposed to punch with two. These two knuckles right here. If you try to punch with all four, it's not going to be as effective because one is completely impossible to punch with four because of the angle your knuckles are at. But I always learned you need to punch with these two knuckles right there. Most effective punch to begin with. But anyways, enough my ranting on punches. I hated that backstage segment with Asuka practicing her punches on those punching bags. Going, it just looked sloppy. Like, come on now, really? Anyways, so backstage, we then also see Lana talking to Rusev saying she has no idea what he's talking about. Well, to that, Rusev believes her, and then Becky rolls up, says Milwaukee is a fun town. And after Lana objects, she says she runs this division, and that makes Lana her business, and she's going to need Rusev to carry her bags because she's not going to be able to walk out here under her own power. So obviously the setup is with a match between, Lana and Becky. They had the match later on tonight. I'll get to that shortly. I mean, it wasn't really anything too spectacular, but like, what? All right, it's a match with Becky and Lana, so, get Becky, some more momentum as champion. Fine. I don't care. It's fine. Anyways, and then of course, they're still wondering when they were even in Milwaukee last. Then we got the Iconics in the ring, which it was pretty good tonight, I shall say. But of course, not as good as someone else tonight. You know what I'm about to say. So they're about to start their little promo, but then they got cut off by Naomi and Asuka before they get started. At first, I'm thinking, oh gosh, don't tell me you guys are going to do this tag match now when we're supposed to have it at Super Showdown anyways. But they didn't. Instead, they had them facing Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Of course, two other people, which, no offense, they're just jobbers just as well. So I'm like, all right, whatever. They're going to lose anyways. They've edited Sonya Deville's music a little bit, but I'm like, okay, cool. But then, of course, when that Mandy hits, I'm just like, whoa! Again, think about it. Again, as I said, birthday this weekend, job interviews, Olive Garden, black tie chocolate mousse cake, and now Mandy Rose. Happy birthday to me! Anyway, she comes out looking fine as always, I shall say. But the match happened, and Asuka and Naomi won. That's all I can really say about it. We had Shinsuke Nakamura, the U.S. champion, taking on Ty Dillinger. And to my surprise, I thought first Ty was going to get squashed by Nakamura, but they kind of made it seem like that Ty could have beat Nakamura. And it was getting interesting until I hear the crowd start erupting. I'm like, somebody's here. Who it could be? And it's Randy Orton. Randy Orton comes out and starts attacking Ty Dillinger. So could Ty Dillinger be Orton's next victim? I mean, Lauren doesn't think so, which, that's fine to feel that way, because Orton was interviewed backstage shortly afterwards saying that, he's not his next victim, but that those 10 chants just piss him off, he claims. But here's the thing, I'll say this. I can kind of understand why Vince would hate the Perfect 10 gimmick because of the 10 chants, because it has the crowd chanting 10 all the time. And I get it. It could be annoying. But don't punish Ty for that. Like, really, don't punish him for it. The guy, again, had a great story going in NXT for him as this underdog babyface. Yeah, he lost a couple key matches, but they felt like they were for a purpose. That's why I feel like, even if this is going to set up for a feud with Randy or one, it's finally given Ty something to do. I mean, yes, I don't expect Ty Dillinger to ever be world champion. I am not setting the bar that high for Ty Dillinger, but he could at least be, a reasonable mid-card talent to have. I mean, even going after the U.S. title or the IC title, something like that is all I'm asking for. So my opinion was, I don't think he's going to be Randy Orton. I cannot see Ty Dillinger beating Randy Orton at all whatsoever. However, though, even though he could lose, I think he could still benefit from having a feud with Randy Orton. Gives Ty something to do. Randy Orton, obviously, told a great story with Jeff Hardy. And I think he can, as heel Randy Orton, he can definitely, get some, at least, help Ty Dillinger feel a little bit more credible as well and build him up again as a true underdog and not a complete jobber as well. Although also it's got me wondering. Of course, there's rumors that the Hell in a Cell match could have been Jeff's final match. I don't know if it's true or not, but if that's the case, then, Orton pretty much did what he said he was going to do. So whether this is pretty much setting up for Randy Orton to, not just, beat Ty Dillinger, but eventually, send him off of his release, which again would suck. There's some jobbers like, Sin Cara or Jinder Mahal or there's like I don't care about, but Ty Dillinger, someone's like, I always have that hope, like, come on, give him a chance, please. So maybe him feuding with Randy Orton could be a benefit. It's different. I did not see it happening. Again, I don't know if this is going to be a long-term thing or if it was just Orton's doing a one-time thing or not. But I wouldn't mind him actually trying to go for it. Give Ty something to do. Give him a story. It's like, it's fresh. It's different. Let's do it. Of course, afterwards, when Orton beat him down, Nakamura hit him with a Kinshasa. Well, he hit a tie with the Kinshasa. So that happened there. We then have Becky Lynch versus Lana. Again, this is a match. Not really too much from the match, but this is a way to give Becky some more momentum as the champion, whatnot. It wasn't bad. Lana's getting better in the ring, but no match to Becky. Becky beat her. Where was I at here? And then finally, well, first we had English backstage being asked about Milwaukee, refusing to elaborate, but he says next week he's going to show us proof, video evidence. And I'm like, woohoo! So we'll see what happens next week. And then finally, we had the contract signing for the WWE Championship match at Super Showdown. Now, this match, no countouts, no disqualifications. There must be a winner. Can't we just say it's no holds barred? That's all it basically is. Like, why do we have to say, oh, it's no countouts, no disqualifications, supposed to be a winner? No. Just say it's no holds barred. Just please. Anyway, so Paige in the ring for contract signing. AJ comes out, and then she introduces Joe, but Joe does not come out. Paige apologizes, but Styles runs him down as a gutless and more likely to attack from behind because that's how Joe works. But he's got eyes in the back of his head, even though, if he thinks he knows, what Joe's up to, then why didn't you never put a cup on when you were feuding with Nakamura? He's going to punch you where the sun does not shine that often, but you can put a cup on. But he knows where Joe's going to be in Australia. He's got another opportunity to take the title from him in a match with no rules. It's pretty much up Joe's alley because Joe doesn't follow rules. But then all of a sudden we hear, oh, AJ. And we see Joe on the Titantron. At first I'm thinking, oh, gosh, tell me he's just going to be just being a thing. I don't need to come out there without blah, blah, be a complete heel. But no. Joe says a great thing about their business. They get to travel all around the world and see places they never thought they'd find themselves. Styles signs a contract while Joe is talking, and Joe pretty much reveals to Styles that he is at AJ's house. Joe says he told his family he was coming home, but where is he now? Thousands of miles away in Denver. He compliments, the home decor and asks if Styles is feeling helplessness, slowly turning to horror, realize that there's nothing he can do right now. Does he have that nauseous feeling in his stomach? Is he feeling guilty for not heeding those warnings? He's far, far away. What can he do? He needs AJ to call Wendy. But wait, you don't bring your phone out to the ring. That's all right. He doesn't want to ruin the surprise. And he even has a nice little doll for Annie. AJ's freaking out. It's like, Joe, stop. This is too much. He asks AJ if his guilt is turning into rage and says he's fired up. His blood boiling as it should be because he knows his family is home now. Styles is begging Joe, but Joe says, is your rage turning into fear? Confusion? Are you falling to pieces? Good. Then he wants him to remember that the feeling because that's exactly how he'll feel when he beats him for the title in Australia. He wants Styles to remember that feeling because this has always been about consequences, which of course goes back to what he said when he explains why he turned heel on Finn Balor back in 2015. It was, pretty much saying we are defined by two things to do in life: the choices that we make and the actions we put forth. That simple little phrase that he pretty much says he goes by when he first explained why he turned heel back in 2015 on Finn Balor. That's exactly what I thought when he said that. There's always everything's always about consequences. And Styles, he claims that Styles stole the title from him, which that win that did make it sound that Joe should have been champion, which kind of gives Joe somewhat of a rub. But there's plenty of time for that. He goes to let himself in before realizing that would be rude. So he rings the doorbell and then he says, "Daddy's home." Boom. The show shuts off. And I'm like, uh-oh. I'm only imagining, what happened with the live crowd what they saw. I don't know if you know the show just cut off right. You know, the video feed just cut out right there, and you see Styles like freaking out in the ring. But that was a pretty good cliffhanger. You know, Joe kept saying, you know, Joe is going out of his way to attack Styles, you know, to like, you know, get into his head. And he really has, as far as, you know, going to his own house to eventually, you know, see his wife, his daughter, bring him her a doll. Oh boy. Again, Joe, again, this is definitely Joe at his finest, which again is why he deserves a run with the title. Even though I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not going to completely kill me that AJ Styles is still champion. Man, like he's really doing whatever he's got to do. And if you wonder, next week, will we see a repeat of what happened with Triple H and Randy Orton in 09? Will we see a brawl in this house, in the house that AJ Styles, I don't know if he built it so, lives in Gainesville, Georgia? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But that was at the show, guys. That was SmackDown Live. Let's check out the polls first before going back to the live chat. So I was choking my spit here. 8 votes for what grade would you have this week's episode of SmackDown Live. 25% said A, 50% said B, 13% said C, 12% said D or lower. And what showed you more? What showed you more this week? Raw or SmackDown Live? 10 votes. 20% said Raw, most likely Vince or Road Dogg. 80% said SmackDown Live. My grade for this show is a B+, not the strongest B+, but had some good intriguing stuff. Again, the matches were okay, but weren't anything, you know, astronomically amazing. But the segments tonight were definitely pretty darn good, especially with what's happening in Milwaukee and also with Joe going to AJ Styles' house as well. That was that was bold. And again, give it a B+. And of course, SmackDown Live was the superior show this week once again. Let's go to let's go to the live chat and see what we got here. They're gonna do Lana as an American, which is fine with me, but quick going back and forth with the accent. It'd be a waste to split Rusev up and Lana and pair her with Aiden. She'd be mad. Would really suck. I do agree, because you know they both should stay together. Rusev and Lana were obviously a great pair, and they split them up in 2015, and Rusev went to be a broken man. But it was long overdue for Rusev face turn. I agree. Aiden didn't really need to turn heel. He was always a heel, to be honest, pretty much. Aiden still is kind of a jobber. He just wants Lana to himself. I mean, again, no offense. I do agree, you know, that, you know, Aiden English is not going to really get much anywhere as a singles competitor. I mean, I didn't mind him with the Vaudevillains, but of course Simon Gotch left. Not sure I heard any good things about Simon Gotch there backstage, but the Vaudevillains just went downhill. Of course, I think it's because they got heat on them for something they did in their feud with the New Day. I think I heard when they first came up. It's Aiden's fault. Rusev kept losing. I agree. Larry says Aiden said nothing but the truth. And by the way, he thinks Lana sucks. That's fine if you feel that way, Larry. Nope. The Iconics have not turned face yet. Nice punching techniques face. Aiden is jealous of Lana, of course, as she says. We got Gino saying what happened in Montreal stays in Montreal. You mean Milwaukee, my friend. But thank you for the stuff in the live chat. And Ty has been there since like 2006. He was there, then he left for a short period, and then he definitely came back. He was in NXT for a while and kind of reinvented himself. Of course, we all remember him from being Stan. See, I just kicked Stan. Poor guy. But yeah, and King Larry goes, Daddy's home, pretty much. But yeah, that was definitely quite a cliffhanger. Again, what will happen next week? Does Joe get inside Styles' house? We'll have to wait and see what happens next week, guys, with all that. I do agree Lana is definitely improving. She's nothing fancy in the ring, but she's getting there. I mean, But yeah, Orton's attacks are definitely been savage as well. He's done again. Him turning heel was, a blessing in disguise for him. Definitely, just lit a fire back in him pretty much, which is, what he really is, is being, a vicious, savage, seductive looking heel. Well, I say seductive looking, but just, slithery looking heel pretty much, if you know what I mean. Him being pretty much a snake because he is the Viper after all. Joe is a creeper as a heel. He is entertaining, though. You got to give him that. He is very entertaining. Like, again, Joe is that guy that can make you, like, go back to whenever he put Paul Heyman in the Coquina clutch in 2017. He just, had Paul in the corner, it's all good. Okay, Paul. You see, I'm just going to put my arm right around you right here. It's not going to hurt that bad, but it's going to hurt bad. Like, he's like, it's all good. It's all good. I'm going to destroy you now, pretty much. Like, that's like the role that, Samoa Joe plays. Can't be a coward or whatnot, but he's, again, it's awesome. I'll give you guys another minute or so in the live chat, and I'm going to check out of here. So before I check out, of course, check out, of course, guys, again, B+ for SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live was so much better than Raw, of course, this week. So tomorrow, I'll be doing my live reviews of 205 Live and NXT. Probably not till later on in the night, though, because tomorrow is the season premiere of Survivor David versus Goliath. And, of course, I'm going to be watching that as well. So 205 Live and NXT reviews will be probably around 11 o'clock tomorrow night, I'm guessing. Just got to wait till both my parents are home before we, watch Survivor together. But that'll be happening then. My special stream, again, will most likely have to wait till Friday because Thursday I have a dentist appointment. Then I'm going to visit some friends. Surprisingly, one of them with a little dessert for his birthday, who was last week as well. So because I have another, friendly get-together on Friday as well with some friends as well, I'm going to try to do my special stream of the week probably sometime Friday afternoon. I know that might not be a good time for a lot of people in live chat, but if you can catch it later, that'd be awesome. But that's probably the only time this week I'll be able to do my special top 10 stream of the week. Also, I'm going to put it over again. If you haven't done so, also make sure to check out my Evolution 2018 rated match cards. Actually, my match cards have been really low on views lately. I mean, the last one that got Extreme Rules almost got 1,000 views. The most views I've gotten on a match card this year so far have been for Backlash, which got about 4.5 thousand views. So let's get the match cards back rolling because I used to get a lot of views on those match cards. So I'm checking my Evolution match card. I also made 2 topic videos on explaining not my theory about why Nakamura has been booked badly on the main roster. And also, I made a fanciful idea for a match I felt could have happened at Evolution, but it's most likely not going to happen. So make sure to check out those videos as well. And again, check out my other videos I do here and there just for, just for shits and giggles. Well, not shits and giggles, but, just my video game stuff just for fun. So just stay tuned for more content to come again as well. So check the live chat again one more time. Let's see here. She'll catch me. Won't be Thursday. Will be Thursday. Will be Friday, Lauren. Great stream, sweet dreams. Larry says, check out my what WWE stands for video. Would be cool if you do. My bad, Larry. I definitely will check. I'll try to check that out after I take my shower before I go to bed tonight. But thank you for reminding me about that. I definitely will. I will leave a comment. Stay safe. YouTube is so dead at the moment and people can't decide what they want and people unsubscribe, which sucks. It does, but it's all good. It's all fine and dandy. I have nothing to lose pretty much. I'm just getting this just for fun, but thank you otherwise for your support, guys. So guys, once again, leave your thoughts on SmackDown Live down in the comment section below. As always, be sure to click my like and subscribe more content on my channel. Call me on Twitter and follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93. So guys, again, I am checking now. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully it's another glorious day like today was. And I'll catch you guys later. So until then, guys, see you guys all later. And peace out, everybody. Oh, and also, don't forget, Daddy's home.